What's the mistake you're not going to do when you look at this question? Just because we're 5 marks, just because you see that they're not even fully defined, are you going to start tripping and thinking it's something overwhelmingly difficult? No. You just take the information they've given to you, right? And realize if you need to find what's the instruction they give, the missing angle, you're looking for an actual number over here. That was much as clear. And in order to find the actual number of this, you need to find some sort of equations that link together to solve using basic algebra what this missing number is going to be. And you can tell obviously it comes from the fact that the perimeter over here is going to be twice the perimeter of the other sector. So without further ado, you'd realize, well, how do we represent our perimeter of the BOC then? Would you need to be told to then focus on, hey, what's going to represent BOC right now? It's clearly going to be some sort of equation involving this and this, right? So without further ado, what's the math tell you? Are we going to look too much at the math, or are we just going to realize from primary school algebra, do you need to be told that the perimeter of a sector BOC, which is what they're talking about over here, is just this length plus this length plus this length? Do you see what we did over here? There's no issue over here to write down r plus this length over here. Well, what's this length? This is the arc length. What do we know over here? What are they testing us on? They're testing us, hey, do you realize this arc length is going to be this angle times r? What's this angle going to be? Well, we know this angle is going to be 180 minus this one. Are we allowed to use 180, or do we have to deal with radians? Clearly radians, so it's going to be pi minus this. So we do pi minus this. This is just algebra rule over here, right? The convention, you have to put brackets over there whenever there is more than one component. Whenever there is more than one component, we already put brackets over there, times that by r. That's the equivalent of angle times r, right? To find this arc length. So that's our perimeter over here. You don't need to tell that this can be simplified, right? So you go ahead and simplify that, and you realize it's going to be this. They all have r in common, don't they? So yeah, that makes sense so far. AOC then, isn't it? Let's look at AOC perimeter. Same concept over here. This plus this plus this. Oh, r plus this, which is theta r. That's not an actual number, but we know that represents our perimeter. We know we're on the right track over here. No confusions, right? If they tell you that this is twice the perimeter of this, basic example over here if you're confused, let's look at this. D is equal to how much money Daniel makes, for example, right? In thousands of dollars a day. If this is how much money Owen makes in thousands of dollars a day. How do we write the relationship? Owen makes twice as much money as Daniel. Oh, O is equal to 2D. That makes sense, doesn't it? So perimeter is twice the perimeter of this. Doesn't that just mean BOC, which is represented by this, is equal to 2 times this thing over here? Which is what we've written over here, isn't it? So BOC, which is this, is equal to 2 times this, which is this. So 2 times this, isn't it? 2 times this. We put brackets over there, so we just make it easy for the algebra. We can just directly copy in. When we put brackets over there, we can directly copy it in now, can't we? Because bracket means multiply. We're allowed to do this, 2 times this, right? Doing the basic algebra over here, we realize this means 2 times this times r. Is this a product? Is this means this whole thing times r? Does this mean this whole thing times 2? Isn't that the same thing as this whole thing times 2 times r? My point is they have r in common, don't they? It's a product. This is the same thing as writing r on the outside like this. 2 bracket 2 plus theta like this. Point is, if they both have r's on the outside, can you not cancel out the r's? Of course. If I need to be told you cancel out the r's, why would you want to do that? Well, it simplifies the problem now, doesn't it? If we don't know what r is, how are we going to find what the fuck this is, right? If we eliminate r now, we now have a much simpler equation. If you eliminate the r's, you have this thing equals to 2 times this whole thing, which is here. You don't even tell this can be simplified, expand that, and now you just rearrange for theta, don't you? Theta is equal to 2 minus pi over negative 3. This is just doing the basic algebra over here, to that side. Minus theta, minus 2 theta becomes minus 3 theta. Negative x minus 2x equals to what? Negative 3x. You see what happens over here. You want the theta by itself because you're trying to work out what this is. Basic algebra. Move this to that side, yes. To that side. 4 minus 2, because 2 to that side minus 2, 2 minus pi. Basic algebra, divide the both sides by negative 3, because you're moving the negative 3 to that side. This is negative 3 times. Remember the rule, anything you move to the other side of the equal symbol is going to be opposite. This was negative 3 times that, so that means divide by negative 3. I'm sure you understand this. And this you can simplify in the calculator to 2 significant figures, 0.38.